Hi, so Pulsar 2849 is a game about space exploration and generating power. Now, yes, that is the theme, but does it come across? Not hugely. What the game actually is about is dice drafting. So you'll roll the dice and then you place them in their corresponding spaces on this track here. And this will help you determine what the middle dice is, or the median. And then once you've determined that, you're able to then kind of draft these dice. And as you draft them, the further they are away from the median allows you to adjust either the initiative track or the engineering track. Then, once you have your dice, you'll use these to perform actions. Now, one of those actions is flying around space. But it doesn't feel like flying around space. It's simply moving from one place to another because you need to go somewhere to do points. Other actions you can do is there are technologies, extra little abilities you can unlock, as well as kind of personal technology trees that are on your own player board. But what the game really comes down to trying to do is picking up these gyrodynes, and these are what are generating power in the future. What you do is you visit a pulsar, you claim that pulsar, and then you build a gyrodyne there. That then will give you points every round. Now, there are other ways to get points in this game. For example, just exploring the galaxy will get you points, but the gyrodynes really are the focus and the best way to get points. So, what do I think of the game? I really like it. I think the replay value is very high because it's got a lot of variation going on it. So there are these things called transmitters, and these will come out in different order in different games, which will make a difference. And this is another thing you can kind of pick up and use your dice for. Another thing that will vary is the player boards. There are 4 different player boards and they're double-sided. So you'll pick a different one to play with. That'll change the game up each game. Also, the main board is double-sided, so once you get bored of the easy board, you can move to the more advanced board. But what really aids the replay value in this game is the technologies over here. And if you look, there is a booklet that comes with the game. Well, I say a booklet, leaflet, but it's an A4 leaflet. So you end up with a double-sided A3 of all the different kind of technology trees, and they're broken down into kind of 3 sections. Now, there are 2 kind of bits for each of these sections and the double-sided, so that gives a huge number of different combinations of these technology trees to actually play through. And then you've got how the dice come out randomly each game, of course, is going to make a difference. But that randomness of the dice can be frustrating, but it's the same randomness for everyone, and then it's making those choices based on the dice that really make this game interesting. Now, of course, there are other dice drafting games out there. Don't get me wrong, this isn't that different to most of them, but what does make it stand out is this track and how it works with the median, because you'll have one round, you roll really high and you're all like, yeah, get the high dice, but there's one really low dice. And if you take that really low dice, you zoom up on the tracks. And that can make a huge difference because you're talking about that adjusting your play order or adjusting the number of cubes you get. And these engineering cubes are really valuable because you spend them at the end of the game for points. That's huge. You can get quite a lot of points that way. But you also can use these to get an extra dice in a turn. By spending 4, you can use the not used die as the red die, and so that works really well. And you can pick up, of course, dice modifiers to help reduce the luck element in this game as well. So I think there is luck in this, but it's largely down to what you're choosing to do and whether or not the dice are going to be there to do it. That's what the luck is. Therefore, it is more strategic than lucky. It is not an easy light game. There's quite a lot to explain and teach people, which can make it hard to grasp. However, once you are used to the game, when you're playing with people who have played a few games, you know what you're doing, it can play pretty quickly. Now, I think the box time is something around 90 minutes, and I think that's probably about right for a free player game. I think you're probably looking at about 30 minutes per player really for this, once you're used to it. It'll take a lot longer when you're getting used to it, however. So what else is there? Components and artwork. Well, I mean, there's not really a lot in the way of artwork to be pretty. There's a lot of symbology and symbols, but once you get used to them and learn them, that's fine. The board itself it's fine, it's clear, the art is not exciting, but graphically it is all fine, all works and is all clear. The components themselves, again, there's nothing outstanding, there's nothing particularly poor. It's just average game components for this day and age. So what is my verdict on this game? Well, I do really enjoy it. I think the whole track and the dice and the relationship of that, of sometimes because you don't necessarily need a higher dice and you just want to do a small thing, it can be worth taking a smaller dice to move up on those tracks and gain that benefit. And other times, you know, if you're always just pummeling those high dice in order to do more and get higher scoring things every turn, you're going to really suffer on the tracks and that will punish you. So yeah, I think really good, really fun. It's a shame the theme doesn't come across more. Maybe part of that is the components and the art. There isn't a lot to them. But overall, I think this is a great fun game. I think it's not hugely heavy, but it's definitely not a light family game either. So that is my thoughts on Pulsar 2849.